You came to power talking about finding a path to peace with Azerbaijan, and yet in the last month we've seen new fighting, new conflict in Nagorno-Karabakh. We've seen at least 17 military personnel killed on both sides. It looks as though it's business as usual, not change.
Peace can't be achieved through the unilateral actions of Armenia, because we will be able to have real peace if Azerbaijan will reciprocate Armenians' efforts. Becoming Prime Minister of Armenia, I proposed a new formula for peace, and the formula is following. Any solution of Nagorno-Karabakh conflict should be acceptable for people of Armenia, for people of Nagorno-Karabakh, and for people of Azerbaijan. And I'm first Armenian leader ever saying that any solution of Nagorno-Karabakh conflict should be acceptable for Azerbaijani people too. But unfortunately, Azerbaijani president didn't reciprocate to my proposal.
But actions speak louder than words, Prime Minister, and what we saw in mid-July was Armenian forces shelling villages across the line of conflict, and we saw, according to the Azerbaijanis, a 76-year-old civilian killed, which then, of course, produced a tit-for-tat response and the prolonged military clash. I put it to you again that your policies do not appear to be designed to achieve peace.
Azerbaijan started military attack against the Armenia.
You say that the Azerbaijanis started it, and they, of course, say that you started it. And I dare say I'm not going to resolve that on Hard Talk today. But what is quite clear is that you, over months, have taken a series of provocative actions which have heightened tensions in Nagorno-Karabakh. For example, why last year in August did you go to Stepanakert in Nagorno-Karabakh and make a speech saying Artsakh, which is what you call Nagorno-Karabakh, is Armenia, period, and then led a crowd in a chant, a nationalist chant of unification? That was clearly a provocation to Azerbaijan.
Why I said that Nagorno-Karabakh, Artsakh is Armenia? First of all, Nagorno-Karabakh for several thousand years is populated by indigenous Armenian people, and by the way, Artsakh name is aged for several thousand years.
Yeah, Prime Minister, it's not.
We are
to be
mutual,
honest with you,
we are.
It's not. We can't go through thousands of years of your history. What we can do is address the realities of today. The UN General Assembly, as you well know, hang on. The UN General Assembly has adopted a resolution which quite clearly, quote, demands the immediate, complete, unconditional withdrawal of all Armenian forces from the occupied territories of the Republic of Azerbaijan. Now that's from the UN General Assembly. Under international law, your forces are a force of occupation. You choose to go there and talk about that territory being yours. You clearly are not a peacemaker.
The document of UN Security Council didn't mention Republic of Armenia or Armed Force of Republic of Armenia. There is written about of Nagorno-Karabakh Armenians self-defending forces. In the moment of the start of this conflict, 18% of population of Nagorno-Karabakh were Armenian.
How you make good on your initial promise to pursue peace. For example, I note that your government plans to build a new road from Armenia into Nagorno-Karabakh following a southern route which goes through a whole swathe of Azerbaijani territory. Now, a group of MEPs in Brussels who've looked at this plan and who specialize in Caucasus politics have described it as a violation of international law. It will symbolically entrench the illegal occupation of Nagorno-Karabakh, we very much deplore this initiative. Will you stop building that road?
It isn't Armenian government to build any road in Nagorno-Karabakh. It's Nagorno-Karabakh government acting in the framework of interest of her own population. And Azerbaijan, by the way, is exercising the policy of isolation and blockade for Nagorno-Karabakh, and by the way, for Armenia too.
Prime Minister, I began this interview by saying that you came to power with a revolution with very high hopes of change and reform. But on this issue of Armenia, its nationalist position on Nagorno-Karabakh, the strategy that you are pursuing, which looks, frankly, as though it doesn't have a meaningful peace element to it, you seem just like your predecessors. You don't seem any different. Where is the evidence that on this core issue for the Armenian people, you're bringing something different to the table?
I won't agree with you naming our position nationalistic, because Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh are under existential threat. And what are we proposing? We are proposing Azerbaijan to renounce any possibility of use of force for Nagorno-Karabakh conflict solution. We should agree on very simple formula. There is no military solution for Nagorno-Karabakh conflict.
So I wonder if to reach out to Azerbaijan and to indicate that you really are different from your predecessors, are you now prepared to say that in the past, particularly in the early 1990s and late 1980s, the Armenian forces committed some major human rights abuses, crimes of war inside Nagorno-Karabakh? Many independent observers have catalogued those crimes. Are you now prepared to acknowledge them and say sorry for them?
Any war is a chain of tragedies. That's why we're saying that let's refuse any possibility of using force for solution of Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. And any peace is compromise. And Armenia always was ready and is ready for compromise. But from the other side,
I'm asking you a very specific question. In the spirit of truth and reconciliation, are you now prepared to say sorry for example, the European Court of Human Rights catalogue of violations of human rights on the part of the Armenian military? Will you say sorry?
European Court has similar catalogue on Azerbaijani's atrocities.
But I'm not talking to the Azerbaijanis, I'm talking to you. I just wanted to know whether you're prepared to take responsibility and apologize for those abuses and crimes committed by Armenia's forces. It's quite simple, yes or no.
It should be proved who exercised these atrocities, and I think Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh and Azerbaijan are victims, and we can prove that anywhere, anytime.
Clearly, you're not going to say sorry.